I'd like to welcome everybody to the Tela.Care Business Overview Call. I'm Stephen McCarroll, your host, and we've just got a terrific call in store for you tonight. I'd like to give a proper introduction to the gentleman that's going to be speaking and presenting momentarily. After 2 years in the Army getting a real estate license and selling no houses, and a year as system manager for a Chrysler dealership, John decided to dive into the world of running his own business, where he worked full-time in direct sales since 1990. That's just over 24 years. He earned only a 1099 self-employed income in that time and no boss. In the 1990s, with New Skin Enterprises, which is a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange, John built a business that generated $20 million in sales revenues with thousands of distributors. He reached the millionaire circle, career income of over $1 million in 2002, which you can read about in the company September 2003 magazine, and that's a PDF magazine you could download and read all about John's success there. Further, John was published in the book First Year in Network Marketing by Mark Yarnell, Chapter 3, Dodging the Depression Torpedo, page 75. Prima Publishing, 1998. And you can find that online. Google it right up and take a look at that. Lots of information in that book, by the way. And finally, Mark Januszewski, I think I pronounced his name right. It's a tough one. The world's laziest networker, interviewed home-based business expert John Cini on August 10th, 2002. Now, with that resume, I'd like to introduce you to John, and I'd like to ask everybody to give him a warm welcome. John?
Hey, thanks so much, Stephen. I really appreciate that. I don't think I've ever worked with anybody who is as professional as you and Karlyn, and the fact that you guys have run your own blog talk radio show for years and years and had tens of thousands of people listening, that's pretty obvious that you guys know your way around the airwaves. So I'm really grateful to be teamed up with you two, and I look forward to years and years of working together with you right here in Tela.Care. So appreciate you all taking a few minutes and plugging in with us here on our Tela.Care kickoff, or can I call it the inaugural webcast. We're going to dive in. We're talking about a world-class customer acquisition company in Tela.Care that connects people to the world's undisputed #1 telemedicine provider. I like saying that, undisputed #1 at the very best price possible. So we're going to help people save money, and we're going to do it at a low cost. And telemedicine, by the way, is expected to be in nearly every USA home by the end of this decade. So talk about timing. There is some serious urgency if you want to grab market share, because I just gave you a window right there of about 5 years. So we need to hustle, because the people who plug in now and take action on this will then set themselves up to be paid for years and years as all these people are using this service. Now, most of us lived through a nearly identical situation just 20 years ago. It was the Internet explosion. Remember that? We went in the 90s from 0 homes having the Internet to every home in America having the Internet. And this Wired magazine pretty much sums up what I just said right there. Video is about to become the way we all visit the doctor. That's a pretty definitive statement right there. It's not like we think it's going to happen. It's about to become the way we all visit the doctor, just as online retailers did a number on brick-and-mortar shopping. Well, telehealth companies are doing the same thing for the high cost of health care and high insurance. So we're going to see massive change, and you are right here at the very beginning, which is kind of fun to be able to say, I was there when. I mean, how many of us really had a chance to participate in the Internet growth, that explosion that we saw, and the total overhaul of life as we know it because of the internet. And very few people on this call, in fact, if you did make a lot of money, you probably wouldn't be on this call. So very few of us had a chance to participate. Here we do. So this is a few quotes out of Wired Magazine. I'm just going to read you this top one. United Healthcare today announced, this was on April 30th, just 2 months ago, announced a partnership with 3 telemedicine companies to cover video-based doctor visits just as it covers in-person visits, effectively saying a video visit is as good as face-to-face. And so this article has all kinds of great quotes, but I'm not going to read them all to you. You can go online and see all this stuff, and we'll tell you where here at the end of our presentation. This is how big the healthcare market is. Pretty staggering. $3.4 trillion. That is the largest market in the U.S., largest industry by far, way bigger than energy, which is pretty big. It's also the biggest inflationary market, where you see dramatic growth way past the rate of inflation. In fact, you can see that U.S. medical spending almost doubled in the last decade, and that's the chart that you're looking at right there. And Forbes said in that previous article I just showed you, these increases are expected to continue. And how fast is telemedicine growing to, help alleviate the problems with healthcare costs going to the moon? Well, it's supposed to double in the next 2 years. This is right out of this article at consumereagle.com. Telemedicine, the future of healthcare is now. That was March 2014, and it said that 10 million people used telemedicine last year, and that number is expected to double in the next 2 years. It took a while to get up to 10 million people annually. So even if we had 30 million people using telemedicine now, which we don't, we'd still have 90% of the U.S. to go reach. And I don't know anyone who has this service. It's just amazing to me. Really, there's millions of people out there that have it. I've yet to have someone go, oh, yeah, I use telemedicine, or, oh, yeah, I have a telemedicine account. It just hasn't happened. And I've talked with hundreds of people. It hasn't happened. This is the CEO of the American Telemedicine Association, quoted in this article. He said, consumers are only just beginning to be aware of telemedicine, but much like the ATM card changed banking for us, so will telemedicine transform the way people receive health care in the coming years. And here's some other scary stats. Workers are paying $400 or $500 annually. Monthly. That would be almost $5,000 annually to fund their health insurance. Average deductible is up 50% from 5 years ago. That's pretty amazing. And still tens of millions of Americans have no health insurance. That's a 2012 number. I think that number has gone down, but then I hear it's gone up. I don't know what way to follow it. But this is the USA Today article where they're talking. You can actually see the quote with your own eyes about that average deductible, because a lot of people look at that and they say, I don't believe that, but it's there. And what does a deductible mean? If you have the flu and you need a prescription, you're paying. If your child has a rash, you're paying. That's what that means. That's the deductible. And we're all running to the doctor. The CDC and the Census Bureau both said that on average, we go to the doctor about 4 times a year, and 7 in 10 medical visits had at least one prescription, and that's a lot of prescriptions. So you've got the ability to save money with telemedicine, because up to 70% of doctor office visits, according to all these quotes, could be prevented if you just use the phone or the internet with telemedicine. That's what we're doing here. And this article just ran in the U.S. News and World Report. You can see the logo up there of the magazine. The Promise of Telemedicine, that was May 18th. And the article says many of the 1 billion doctor visits that the CDC reports occur each year in the U.S. can be avoided altogether. And so there's article after article like that. And you know what? People a lot of times don't even want to go to the doctor or to whatever clinic or to the therapist. And here's a perfect example of that. This is an article about growing contenders for the telemedicine market, and it talked about 2 new companies, HealthTap and Doctor on Demand, trying to grab market share. And the issue is pregnant teens, the deciding factor. Now, obviously, pregnant teenagers are not exactly going to want to be telling people, and there's all kinds of reasons that you don't want to be seen entering a clinic. This is ABC News in Denver. Text message therapy sessions are the latest trend in the booming U.S. telemedicine industry. So not only does telemedicine give people a way to save money, but it gives them convenience, it gives them privacy and confidentiality. But the saving the money is the big deal. Telemedicine can cut healthcare costs by 90%. This is from 2012 Harvard Business Review. Pretty amazing statement right there. And this article, even though it's 3 years old, it's timely today. I mean, you look at this. If you've not yet heard of telemedicine, I think it's not a great way to deliver quality health care, you may want to read this. Telemedicine made possible by the availability of mobile networks is revolutionizing health care. So here we go. This is the ABC News clip, 3 minutes with Diane Sawyer. If you haven't seen that, that just ran a year ago. Make sure you check that out. Usually people see that before they jump here on our webcast, but the subtitle of this on the ABC website is Cutting Your Doctor Bills in Half Without Going to the Doctor's Office. So you can figure out what that's about. This is MD Magazine. It's telemedicine about to change the way we visit the doctor, and you can see here also May 18th. And they talk about how UnitedHealth, the nation's largest health insurance company, announced a partnership with 3 telemedicine companies. It basically said verbatim what the Wired magazine article said about how everybody's going to visit the doctor over the video, over internet. And, of course, if you have something bleeding or you've got a bone sticking out of your body, you know, if it's a definite emergency, we're not telling you, oh, just call in. But for 3 out of 4, for 2/3, somewhere around there, 70% of everything that you would go to the doctor for, you can take care of it over the internet. So Tela.Care is the marketing arm, the customer acquisition company for MD Live, and MD Live is the healthcare provider offering a network of thousands of doctors and licensed therapists. And you can see a little simulation here on your laptop. You can do it on desktop, iPad. You know, here's a woman, actually a real picture of a woman doing a telemedicine visit right over the iPad. I guess that's not even an iPad. That's an Android device. And here you go. Here's an iPhone. And you can do it however you want to, anytime, anywhere, from your home, at a friend's house, on the top of a mountain, or you can even use one of those old-fashioned Teleo phones if you want to do that. So very easy to do. If you've got the smartphone, you can get the free MD Live app and download it, and no extra cost on that. You want to plug in with Tela.Care first, or you're going to end up paying the per-visit charge with MD Live, which is a little bit pricey. But they've got an online symptom checker on there, medical history. All that stuff is dynamite. We even give you a prescription discount card where you can save up to 85% on all your medications at pretty much every pharmacy out there, Costco, Walgreens, Walmart, Target, CVS, Rite Aid. You get the point. And they say their average card holder is saving $200 a year, which is nice. And you know what's funny about this slide? I'm really excited to tell you that I had to go get a prescription today, which is kind of funny. And so I took my card with me, and you can print it right off the web and go. Ask the person that invited you here how you get your own card. You can literally go to our site, print it off, and you can start using it today. There's no cost, no obligation. You can do that as a freebie from us. Merry Christmas. But here, if I could blow this up for you, you could see this is a text message. I was at Walmart, and it said, your 1RX is ready, and it's $17.75. Well, I walked up to the counter, and I said, can I use this? I knew I could. And they took my card, and they actually chopped my bill in half. How do you like that? I mean, it literally dropped from $17.75, which I would have paid without my card, to $8.67. They had to take a minute and review the card and then, dictate my amount off there. But that was pretty cool. I always see this number. I'm like, yeah, right. I might get 5% or something. But there it was, 50%. So that was a free lunch, which is kind of cool. So what would you pay for all that? How about $24.95 a month? Kind of nice. And you can be a customer with us, Tela.Care, and go get your prescription discount card free. You can do that without even doing the $24.95. But you can get your MD Live connection for $25 a month, which is nice. Now, here's Karlyn's favorite slide. I had to share that with everybody. But this is I didn't do the slide, but it is a funky color scheme. But MD Live partnered up with Cigna, one of the largest health insurance companies out there, with 35,000 employees and $35 billion in annual revenue and tens of millions of customers, and they are now plugging in with MD Live to offer telemedicine. Why are they doing that? I think it's pretty obvious, to save money. That's what they're doing. So hopefully you get that. Same thing with Walgreens. Here is the nation's largest retailer, largest drugstore chain, not retailer, and they've teamed up with MD Live. There it is right there out of the Chicago Tribune. So you can see the growth here. If that's not good enough for you, MD Live's vice chairman of the board of directors is John Sculley, who is that former Apple CEO. Here he is with the late Steve Jobs, and he is now a world-renowned investor, king of Silicon Valley, and he's talking about the price and how much money that we'll save, and you'll see that. It's a great setup right there. So a few reasons to get Tela.Care, and we're just about wrapping up, and you can meet a couple of our partners here. You're paying, the costs anyway, and whether it's a copay, deductible, or both, and you're also saving huge time. So how much is your time worth? And then you can help other people, and you can actually get free service in exchange for your referrals and go beyond that and earn significant income. Here's your cost per visit. As I mentioned, if you think about it, what does MD Live have to do in order to get customers to their site to make a purchase? Well, companies can go out there and spend $50, $100 or more per customer on advertising. If I can rewind again back 20 years to when AOL was painting the whole world with their discs, how much did it cost them to put them in magazines and on newsstands and all these different places, mailing them out to everybody in America? They spent a fortune on that, and I think the number was $300 per customer that they acquired. And that's MD Live has the same challenges. They got to do advertising and all that, but instead they call Tela.Care, and that's where we come in. That's why they need us. And I like to call MD Live the Apple iPod of telehealth. Unknown, but already taking over the market. So, and Don Frieda is our owner and founder, headquartered in the Philadelphia area in South Jersey. What I love about Don is, besides being a humble guy, he's got incredible experience. He's done this before. He actually set up with Cutco, a vector marketing company that spanned, this is what Don did, over 400 offices across North America, almost 1 million reps, and over $1 billion worth of Cutco cutlery, knives and other things. And he had literally 100 people that earned $100,000 annually and 25 people that made $1 million, which is pretty incredible. Since then, Don has written a book. He's been a consultant in the direct sales arena for years, and then he saw this and said, you know what, I think we can blow this out. And he's helped a lot of people go on some nice cruises and win a lot of awards, and that company today has literally gone on to do 9 figures annually every year since. Pretty amazing. I still do 100, 200 million a year. So here's our comp plan, and I'm going to give it to you in about 30 seconds. And if you want to learn more on any of this, get back to the person that invited you. We got amazing stuff online. You can check all this out in great detail. But it's a very clear path to a long-term income. All you got to do is build a team of referral customers who each pay $25 a month. And of that $25, $17, 68%, is paid back to the rep force down 7 levels, which I'm really amazed at when you look at this, the way that Don set this up. It is probably the most aggressive payout in the history of direct sales on a multi-level structure. And I'm still kind of thanking my lucky stars that he's such a generous guy. But we're paying it forward. If you saw the movie from 10 years ago, you know what I'm talking about. But if you go out there and you share this with a handful of other people, well, you get $3 per person that pays their $25. So you can do the math. I already showed you that on the previous slide on those 7 levels. First level, anybody you get yourself, that's level 1 right there, the green guys here or gals. You're making $3 a head. So that would be 3 times 3, that'd be 9. Well, if you went and got 9 people at $3 a head, that'd be 27. Excuse me, that would cover your monthly service costs, right? So that $24.95 would be reduced to 0 if you were getting a check for $27. So that's kind of nice. Well, if you go and get 3 people, you just hit the rank of what we call star, and you would actually qualify for a $20 bonus on top of all of that, and that's kind of fun. And then if you help just 1 person go and get their 3, you're now what we call a star maker, and you get another $10 bonus. Well, if you go help 1, 2, 3 people become stars, where they each get their 3, so you've helped 3 people get 3, so there's 9 underneath the 3, you would actually then be a superstar. You would have helped 3 people hit the star level, so you would have hit star maker 3 times. 3 times 10 is 30. 30 and 20 is 50. You can go and hit star as many times as you want. That would be bringing on 3 people as many times as you want. And you can go hit superstar as many times as you want. and make that $50 as many times as you want. So it's kind of a nice setup here, and that's, again, building a 3x3, and, of course, that will also get you free service. So a lot of different ways to hit this. Here's a chart that the beautiful Karlyn made beautiful, and that is just showing you graphically, if we fill in the numbers here, if you go out and you get 3 people and they each get 3 and they get 3 and so forth down the 7 levels, you'd end up with about 3,000 people, but your pay would end up being a ridiculous number right there. I mean, those numbers are kind of overwhelming for some people, but I looked at this and I said, okay, we need to go get 3,000 people immediately, and that's what we're working on doing. I actually have seen people do this in other companies in a matter of months. I've actually done it myself, not that fast. I put a couple thousand people into my first network in a year and a half, and if it took me a year and a half to get up to $9 or $10 a month, I would be okay with that. But you have the ability to do it here a lot faster if you work hard. This is, instead of 3, this is 4. 4 who go get 4, and you can see the numbers just get staggering right there. And if we just add one more person to this illustration, and I'm just kind of zipping through it quickly, but you can see how the numbers just get crazy. Now, the company that I was just with, if you're looking at this number and saying, that's ridiculous, well, there were a couple people that actually got up to those sizes of an organization of a network. So kind of fun to be able to go and do that. And we are right here at the very beginning. We just launched Tela.Care last month, and when we can say we're brand new or the first, boy, what a special position to be able to say I was there when the Apple iPod launched, and I knew it was going to be huge, or the iPhone, either one of them. You would have made a fortune if you had invested in Apple prior to or right at the time those 2 products launched. Well, here we are with Tela.Care launching, and what I want to do, if Jonathan Seigler is on the call with us here, if I can unmute you, or if you already are unmuted, I want to be able to have you share a little bit about your excitement and what you've seen. You've been in the industry for a long time. Jonathan, are you live with us?
I sure am, John. Can you hear me clearly?
Sweet. Yes, I can. I'm glad you're here. I just wanted to share with everybody a little about your background, because you've been in the networking arena as long as I have. You've also been very successful in real estate and a couple other professions. And, I met you in another company that you brought me into, and we're so fortunate to have you and your expertise and some of the superstars that you've worked with. If you would share a little bit about what you see here with the Tela.Care and how it compares to some of the other business experience that you've got.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for being the leader that you are. I mean, everybody out there that's listening, just know that there's just no better partner to have. I mean, I've worked with a lot of people over 15, going on 20 years in this industry, and I met some great people indeed. But I got to say, John, it's an honor to be able to work with you, to share the vision that you have and with the vision that Mr. Don Frieda have, and sharing this opportunity, this service to every single person around our country. I mean, it's going to be some life-changing calls that we're going to be embarking on for the weeks, months, and years to come. So, again, thank you for this opportunity. But, yes, I certainly have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly in this industry. I've seen many people who put up hundreds and even thousands of dollars just because they really want a better life. And they looked at many other companies, and they thought that that was the company that's going to show them how to get what they were hoping for their families. And most people, as you all may know, over 85% of people who invest money never even made their money back. Forget profit. Never even made their money back. Well, here, we're working with MD Live, the #1 company in the telemedicine arena, for $24.95. 2, you get to work with some of the top minds in network marketing. These are people. We're talking John Cini. We're talking Don Frieda. We're talking Karlyn. Wait till you hear from Karlyn and her husband, Stephen, out of California. I mean, we're talking some of the best minds in network marketing that actually have a vested interest in your success. They want you to make as much money for yourself and your family as possible. And, again, that's for just $24.95 a month, something that will cost people thousands upon thousands of dollars if they got personal coaching. But just because you're part of the family, we share that with you. All of our knowledge, you get that. And lastly, look at the tax breaks that you get. You are starting a home-based business for $24.95 a month. Now, I won't go into all the benefits that means, but now, instead of spending thousands of dollars on a brick-and-mortar business, just by starting a business and with the intent of making a profit, and we are going to help you make a profit, but then you get to write off things like your phone bill, your gas bill, your clothing bill, things of that nature, for $24.95 a month. People will actually be losing money to not be a part of this home-based business. So take my word for it, y'all. You're getting in at the very beginning. I've never had this opportunity in my 20-year history. I never had an opportunity to get in at the beginning of a tsunami. And that's what you have right now. So whoever invited you to this call, thank them so very much. And I thank you for being on the call. Let's lock arms together and let's change lives. Mr. Cini, I pass the call back to you.
Hey, Mr. Seigler, I got to just hit you up for a little bit of reminiscing because we met a few weeks ago in Philadelphia. You came down from Boston. I zipped up from D.C. And you got to meet the owner of the company. What was your reaction that day? Because I remember when you walked in and I remember when you walked out. It was a little bit different after that, wasn't it?
Well, first of all, you guys were sitting in a nice restaurant, and Mr. Don Frieda was sitting there, as well as my new friend and Pastor Scott out of Florida was sitting there. And I walked in with a dear friend, cousin, my beloved partner, Mr. Anderson. And when we were there, and I met you for the first time. Here it is, y'all. I've been working with this guy for about 7 or 8 months. He's out of Washington, D.C., and we never saw each other face to face, but yet we partnered on conference calls with people logged on from around the globe, and we finally had a chance to meet face to face. And you know what? I just felt like after that meeting, we shared some shrimp and some other stuff and no alcohol. Got to let y'all know that. But after that meeting, it felt like it was family. It looked like I finally found the people that I was praying for years. I don't want to just work with someone who just want to make money. I really don't. I want to work with someone that's got a vested interest in saying, let's change the lives of the people within our country. Let's reach out and help people earn some serious income. When I looked in Don Frieda's eyes, he was very sincere. He wasn't sitting there talking about money. He was talking about life-changing opportunity. And that's who I want to work with. So, Scott, if you're on this call out of Florida, just know, man, I really felt like you're a brother. You're the brother sent from God, and I'm glad that I met you. John, doggone it, it took us 7 to 8 months. But you know what? It was worth the wait. Thank you so much. Because this happened for me and my family if you didn't take the time to call me up and say, this opportunity is bigger than anything you've ever seen, and now I can say the same words to hundreds and thousands of people. This is the biggest opportunity I've ever seen, and I am going to grab my share of it. Back to you, John.
Super. Thanks so much. I really love working with you, and it's always a great time, so appreciate that. I want to next introduce Karlyn McCarroll, who is the better half of Stephan, who is our host. And Karlyn, I could give you 10 minutes on her background, as nice as Stephan was to, give you my overview. Karlyn's accomplished probably 10 times what I have in the industry. She's been in it a little bit longer. Her father invented the electric piano, Harold Rhodes, and she went from there to what I think you started your professional singing career when? I'm just kidding. But Karlyn actually has been in the networking industry for almost 4 decades, and she's been a 5-figure earner in a few different companies. She put 100,000 people, over 100,000 people, into a company and made about $1 a head on that. I like telling that story because those numbers really sound good, especially when you start to think about the fact that when she does that again here with Tela.Care, it's not going to be $1 a head. It's going to be at least 2, which is kind of fun. So, Karlyn McCarroll out of Murrieta, California.
Hi, thank you, John. I'm so cracking up. I always go, I'm Karlyn Rhodes McCarroll, and he's Stephan McCarroll. So we've always been able to do that fun thing that sounds like we're a partnership, even though we've been together over 42 years. I started when I was 3, for anybody doing the math, just trying to figure it out, just letting you know. So, gosh, thank you so much. I just want to go back to kind of what Jonathan has said and reiterate a little bit of what you said. First of all, I want to talk about how simple the comp plan is. It's simple. It's duplicatable. It is so easy for everybody to explain. It's not overly complicated. There's never been an opportunity that you've had, as Jonathan said, to be able to come into a program for $24 a year and to $24.95 a month. I mean, how do you beat that? We've all got inventory on our shelves from. Some people are still stepping over opportunity to get to their car, from opportunities that are long gone and washed away and went out of business. So we all have experienced some of that. If you're a seasoned networker, you know what I'm talking about. If you're a newbie networker, then you're going to love this because you've got your hands on a company. Back to what John said, when they met Don, I didn't have to fly all that way. I got it when I talked to him on the phone. This man has got a heart for wanting, and he says it, the little guy to win. No games, no gimmicks, straight up, straightforward. I think that's the thing that just resonates the most with me when I hear this, and how if you've done whatever little or lot of work, he wants you to be paid for that. And I just thought, gosh, finally somebody who's in the field corner and not looking for avenues to pitfalls and trap us from making money. So it's really simple if we want to go out and just do the job, truly. And then I have to say, if you've listened closely today, John, excellent job. Stefan, you're just amazing. You're like what makes me shine behind my shininess. So we're out here, and I think with the selected group of stars that you start hearing from Scott to Jonathan to John to Stefan, just the people that we've aligned with. We've got Joe out there in Florida. I mean, listen. The stars are all around us. They're aligned. So now all we have to go out and do is make stars, become stars, and make stars. So it's, Jonathan, you and I were saying, right? Become a star by helping two people, and then simply helping other people to do that, be a star maker. There is the formula for the success of everything you heard tonight. Just learn how to become a star and be a star maker. That is what's going to take you to the top. But you know what you got to do? You have to make a decision to say, you know what, this sounds like something that I think I'd like to be a part of, and it comes down to getting back to the person who led you here tonight, getting involved, taking that step of faith, and giving it a try. It's time for you to take your dreams out of the corner, and dust the cobwebs off if they've been there and you've thought, they're just never going to happen. And you know what? You've got the right people, the right company, the right leadership team around you. You've got the right product. And the timing could not be better. So we truly have what we call a 5-star opportunity. And as Jonathan said, every one of us in the leadership here is looking forward to helping you to achieve your success. I mean, with that, all that's left to do is to tell you the only thing missing from this opportunity right now is your enrollment. Get started. We need you on board. Let's go. We want to help you. So with that, I'd like to turn the call back over to Stefan and tell everybody thank you again for being here tonight. Stefan, back to you.
Thank you so much, Karlyn. Great information. John Cini, great information. And Jonathan Seigler, great information. How can you go wrong being partnered with this group of people, this group of professionals? With that, I'd like to bring the call to a close. Thank you all for being here, and let's give a good sign-off. This is Stefan upstairs, Murrieta, California, saying good night.
See you on Thursday. Good night, everyone.
Laura from Ohio. Good night.
Billy from Maryland. Good night.